Gray parrots are truly remarkable creatures. They're incredibly intelligent, observant, and sensitive. But their greatest gift, the thing that sets them apart, is their ability to notice what others often miss. This story is about one of those special parrots, and it takes place in a small, sunlit apartment. Here lived a gray parrot named Shadow. He had been part of the family for several years. Shadow was a handsome bird, with sleek gray feathers and sharp, piercing eyes that seemed to see everything. He spent most of his days on his favorite perch, right by the living room window, watching the world go by outside and observing the rhythms of the family inside. He was a silent sentinel, a quiet guardian of the home. Then one day, everything changed. A baby arrived. His name was Leo. From the very first moment Leo was brought home, Shadow noticed the shift in the atmosphere. The apartment was filled with new sounds, new smells, and a completely new rhythm. The gentle quiet he was used to was replaced by the soft gurgles and occasional cries of a newborn. The familiar scent of the home was now mingled with the sweet smell of baby powder and milk. But Shadow didn't react the way you might expect a pet to. He didn't shout or flap his wings wildly in protest or for attention. He didn't become demanding or destructive. He just watched, quietly, patiently. From his perch, Shadow's intelligent eyes followed every detail of this new life. He noticed every tiny movement Leo made in his crib. He heard every little sound Leo produced, from the softest sigh to the loudest wail. He even seemed to sense the small shifts in the air around the baby. It was as if he was studying, learning, and understanding this new member of his flock. His observation was constant and intense, but it was also gentle. He wasn't judging or interfering. He was simply bearing witness to the beginning of a new life. The family noticed Shadow's fascination, but they couldn't have guessed the depth of his silent connection. Whenever Leo was laid down on his colorful playmat on the floor, Shadow would inch closer on his perch. He would lean forward, tilting his head from side to side, listening intently to the baby's coos and babbles. It was a fascinating sight. The parrot, a creature known for its mimicry, was listening more than he was speaking. When Leo let out a happy little laugh, a pure, tinkling sound, Shadow would mimic it, but so softly it was almost a whisper. It wasn't a performance. It was a private echo, a shared moment of joy that only the two of them seemed to understand. And when Leo would fuss or begin to cry, Shadow remained completely calm. His quiet, steady presence seemed to fill the room with a sense of stability, a silent reassurance that all was well. Weeks turned into months, and Shadow's unwavering observation never faltered. He was always there, a constant fixture in Leo's world. He was attentive, but never intrusive. He gave the baby space, yet his presence was a comforting backdrop to Leo's daily discoveries. One sunny afternoon, something beautiful happened. Leo, now a bit bigger, was on the floor near Shadow's perch. He reached a tiny, chubby hand up toward the parrot, his little fingers just barely brushing against the tip of Shadow's claw. Most birds might have been startled, but Shadow wasn't. He leaned forward slowly, deliberately, allowing the gentle touch. He felt the warmth of the baby's skin. Then, just as carefully, he stepped back, giving Leo his space but staying close by. In that moment, a new phase of their relationship began. Leo smiled, a wide, gummy grin. And in response, Shadow cooed softly, a gentle, melodious sound. This became their daily routine, a silent, gentle dialogue between a baby and a bird. Shadow would watch, and Leo would explore his world, often with one eye on the quiet gray parrot. A deep, unspoken bond began to form between them, a bond built not on words or commands, but on pure presence, patience, and a calm, mutual understanding. It was a connection that didn't need language to be profound. The family watched this quiet friendship blossom, amazed at the parrot's gentle nature and the baby's complete trust in him. By the time Leo learned to crawl, his world expanded dramatically. He would set off on little adventures across the living room floor, exploring every nook and cranny. And from his perch, Shadow would follow his every move. He'd tilt his head curiously as Leo changed direction, as if trying to anticipate his next destination. When Leo paused to look at a toy, Shadow would pause too, his gaze fixed on the same object. Their movements became a kind of dance. When Leo giggled with delight at a newfound treasure, Shadow would coo his soft, happy approval. When Leo stopped to rest, Shadow would fluff his feathers and settle in, matching his stillness. It was a partnership, a silent team. Their interactions were never dramatic. There were no loud squawks, no big flashy tricks. It was all subtle, quiet, and deeply profound. Shadow wasn't just a pet in the room. He was a participant in Leo's world, a silent companion on his journey of discovery. He was teaching Leo, in the most gentle way possible, about companionship and awareness. Through his constant, quiet presence, Shadow was showing Leo the power of just being there for someone. He was demonstrating that you don't always have to do something big to make a difference. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give is your full, undivided attention. Years passed. Leo grew from a baby into a toddler and then into a young boy. He learned to walk and talk and run. Shadow was there for all of it. He watched Leo take his first steps, listened as he said his first words, and was a silent witness to countless childhood moments, both happy and sad. As Leo grew up, his memories of Shadow weren't of a loud, talking parrot who performed tricks. He didn't remember grand gestures or heroic rescues. What he remembered was the feeling of Shadow being quietly there, every single day. He remembered the calm, intelligent eyes that followed him as he played. He remembered the soft coos that answered his laughter. Shadow had taught Leo one of life's most important lessons, without ever speaking a word of human language. He taught him how to notice the world. He taught him the value of quiet observation, of patience, and of understanding. And subscribe for more content that celebrates the amazing connections we share with the animal world.